Hello, today I just wanted to talk about should you play Rogue going into Season 1. So the first thing I want to say about Rogue is they have an amazing leveling experience. So if you look here at this build, right, this build with maybe a couple of tweaks is going to be the same build that I play at the end game for Rogue, right? And that goes with Flurry, that goes with Twisting Blades, it goes with Barrage, because the thing is that a lot of their offensive powers, right, are in the Codex. So you have like this one, right? Blade Dances, right? This is for Twisting Blades, right? So you can do Twisting Blades. I believe you can also get the Flurry one. You can get the Barrage one as well. So like you can see that there's a lot in the Codex that makes this build work. Now, I don't think you can do Death Trap yet, but you can do Flurry, Barrage. I believe you can do Flurry, Barrage, Twisting Blades, and Penetrating Shot. So that's a really cool thing that you can actually, have a nice smooth transition between, you're not having to play some like, for example, with the Druid, you might start off playing like Companions because it's the Druid leveling experience has like a very specific way to go about it to level up efficiently. Whereas Rogue, it's like, well, you can just play whatever you want, and you can transition that build into the end game. And I really suspect that the builds that are already good are just going to become better with Malignant Hearts, because keep in mind that all this is subject to change, right? And there's probably going to be, maybe another build or two that pop up when the Malignant Hearts get released. But I really highly suspect that the builds that are good on the Rogue are going to stay good, and they're only going to get better with Malignant Hearts. Because one thing that the Rogue struggles with is defense, right? So you'll notice that a lot of Rogues will stack defense in the end game, right? So they're kind of squishy. But with the addition of defensive Malignant Hearts, we might just see like Rogue builds able to push higher because they just have more access to defense. And I think maybe other builds that were worse for the Rogue might actually end up rising. Now, obviously, there's definitely going to be like completely new builds that are going to come out, right? Obviously. But I think Rogue is... I do think it's a great choice. I don't think there's a lot of downside to choosing Rogue right now, right? They have godly speed farming builds. So if you're trying to just get up and going fast, right? Even if you want to play like a different class later on or something, like if you started Rogue and then kind of leveraged your Rogue to farm gear so you can have an easier like Barbarian leveling experience or something like that, like that would make total sense, right? Like they're very, very good speed farmers. I think this is a totally fine class to start. I don't really see a whole lot of downside to playing to ever starting a Rogue. Like they're just in a really good spot right now. I think I don't see any like super glaring issues with them. Even when I research on them, like I don't see a lot of people complaining about Rogue aside from, oh, we're too squishy, maybe give us more access to defense. They have such a good like diversity of builds. Like I said, Rapid Fire, Flurry, all these things can be ran super high up. I think the S tier push build is like Penetrating Shot currently. So if you are looking to push high dungeons, unless the Malignant Hearts change it, I think Penetrating Shot is what most people are on right now. But that being said, I believe I saw Woody do a 100 Goron Canals with like the Rapid Fire build, and he did it on hardcore. So like I mean, if people are completing hundreds on Druids with other builds that aren't even considered to be like the best build, right? And it's on hardcore, I think that's a good sign that this is a really strong class. I've enjoyed playing it. Unfortunately, this is not one that I ended up getting to max level. I ended up only playing 3 of the 5 classes to max level before season start. Going into the season, I am going to play every class, hopefully to 100. That's my goal, is to play all the classes to 100 and to hopefully clear a 100 on all of them. So yeah, it'll be a good time. But yeah, so if you're looking at starting Druid, I mean, you have movement speed, you have mobility. I mean, good lord, like it's just, just to give you a little bit of a, just to kind of show you. So I'm playing Penetrating Shot here, right? This is a very, very strong in-game build for pushing. Not the best speed farming build, but you can just kind of see it's like, ooh, I messed that up. It's like, but they have really cool builds, right? So like I hit something with this and it's like boom, goes back, right? Twisting Blades, you just kind of dash around with like blades orbiting you. Like they have really cool builds, like really fun builds. Like this class really is like, it's great. I really don't see a crazy amount of downside. For any experienced Rogue players though, or super experienced Rogue players want to leave, kind of what they view as the downside, I would be interesting to see it. That is for sure. Oh, It's like, and that's the thing. They have like such a godlike start. Like you don't even necessarily. You need like maybe one legendary. Like if you just went and got like the penetrating shot legendary, right? Because like this build is a Codex of Power build I put together, but you really don't need most of this. That's the thing about the Rogue is like their squishiness doesn't happen until the end game, and I feel like that's an issue that every class has. So I don't even know if it's like worth talking about. But like, look at this. It's like what? It's like you just one shot everything. Like I didn't even stack up combo points. Like it's nuts, and this is how like the majority of builds work with the Rogue. You know, it's just a really good leveling class. So, but anyways, I mean, and then when it comes to uniques, I do know that there are a couple builds that need uniques. Like I know, for example, this build, people are recommending running things like Combination, and that's because it's specifically unique. That combo is really good with combo points, so it's a damage increase, and it also gives you a chance to like generate combo points. So you might need to farm a couple uniques, but none of the uniques that you need to farm are like the uber rare ones, right? It's not like Bar where they're like, you know, the optimal build is, you know, run Harlequin Crest and the Grandfather. It's like, no, it's all these ones they're fairly common. You should find them. It's like you should find them relatively quick. Now keep in mind that when it comes to uniques, in my mind, this has been my experience for any class, you really don't start finding an insane amount of them until you hit like, I don't know, 65 to 70, because you have to remember there's a level requirement on them. So until you get to like 60 or whatever the level requirement is for them to drop, they're not going to drop. Right, so you will have to wait till like level 60, 70. But the thing is that you can see that you don't need it, right? Like it's the cherry on top. Your build is totally functional without it. It is not a build, like none of their builds rely on the unique to function, which I think is important. It's not like Druid where you need like a Tempest Roar on top of like 2 other legendary aspects to create this Exodia in order to do stuff, right? But anyways, I think that's going to do it for this video. Like I said, I really don't have a whole lot of negative things to say. I haven't really had a bad experience with Rogue, and I don't think anybody's experience with Rogue has really been that bad. So thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.